Last week's video really got me thinking about the bags that I've had for the longest amount of time, the bags I've had for several years, or in some cases, even decades. These are the bags that have survived every single closet purge, declutter, closet reset, whatever you want to call it. These are the bags that have consistently made the cut every single time. In case you missed it, my video last week was discussing how to do a closet reset to really curate pieces that suit your personal style and your current season of life. If you missed that video, I will have it linked at the end of this video, so keep watching until the end. But getting back to the topic of today's video, we're going to look at all the bags I've had for the longest and why they've stayed in my collection for that long. We're going to start out with my Coach bags. Coach was my first love when it came to designer handbags, and I have had a lot of Coach bags over the years, starting in the very early 2000s. Then we're going to look at the Louis Vuitton bags that I've had for the longest, because once I got into luxury designer handbags, the first brand I really bought a lot of was Louis Vuitton. Starting out with Coach, the oldest bag that I still have is this mini Ergo from February 2007. According to the date code inside this bag, this was manufactured in February 2007, so I know that I purchased it at some point that year, and this is just such a cute little bag. When I first bought this, I used this bag nonstop for years. It's just the perfect size shoulder bag. This was perfect for my wallet, my keys, my cell phone. I did have a cell phone in 2007. I'm trying to remember. I probably had a little flip phone at the time. And you can see how beautiful the leather is on this bag. It's just so squishy and it's gorgeous. I love all the contrast stitching as well. And this is just a regular shoulder bag. I also love what great condition this bag is still in, even today, for being 19 years old. Since Y2K fashion has really been trending the last couple years, I think I might be inspired to bring her out and use her again. What do you guys think? Moving on to my next oldest bag, it's this little Coach wristlet. This is a straw and canvas combination with turquoise leather lining. And this is such a cute bag. It does just have a very simple wristlet inside. And let's take out the stuffing. Just a basic cotton lining. This does not have a Coach creed inside because I think technically it's a small leather good since it's a wristlet. Oh, and I didn't show the bottom. It does have Coach in leather in the bottom and two little feet, which I think is really adorable. So I cannot figure out the exact year I got this, but I was recently looking through old photos and I happened to come across a photo of me on a beach at night with my sandals in my hand and this little clutch under my arm. So I definitely had this bag at least since 2010, but I'm not sure how much earlier than 2010 I actually bought this. And I will never let go of this bag, even though it's a little too small for me today to really use it, since my phone and all the things I carry are a lot bigger than they were back in 2010. This is just such a unique bag. I think it's so gorgeous, and I really, really do love this. So just because it's so rare and unique, and if I sold it, I would never be able to get it back again, I'm definitely hanging on to this bag. The next oldest Coach bag I have is this shoulder hobo bag. Again, you can tell this is very well loved. And the reason I still have this is because my husband actually bought this bag for me for my birthday in 2014. And then a week after my birthday, we got engaged to be married. So Even though this wasn't a gift that had anything to do with our engagement, I really strongly associate it with our engagement. I have, again, used this bag to death. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but you can see how much silvering there is on the hardware on the side of the bag and how scratched it is. Just because I used this bag to death, I absolutely loved it just because it was a gift from my husband and we got engaged and then married shortly after he gifted me this bag. So I used this a lot. It's also really huge. I loved using this bag at the time because it has two really generous compartments. Let me remove the tissue paper. And then in the middle is a zip compartment. So this is another Coach bag that I will definitely hang on to. Moving on to Louis Vuitton. The Louis Vuitton bag that I have had for the longest is, of course, the Neverfull. This was the first bag I purchased that was a luxury designer handbag. I bought this from a local consignment store in 2019 for $925. The retail price of a new Neverfull at that time was $1,325. Today it's over $2,000 for a Neverfull. I couldn't fathom spending over $1,000 on a bag. So when I saw this pop up at a local consignment store for $925, I bought it. At the time, I was a new mom. My oldest was a year and a half old, and I was just so tired of schlepping around this diaper bag and feeling like a pack mule. So I decided to upgrade to the Neverfull. I did actually have the leather on this bag replaced by Louis Vuitton a few years ago. I sent it into repair services. The Vachetta leather was pretty worn out and it had actually worn through in a few places along the side of the bag. So I did have the leather replaced as well as the bottom panel of the bag. They actually replaced the canvas. There was a huge scratch that went through the canvas on the bottom of the bag. So they did repair it for me. And I'm keeping this because it's very sentimental to me. It was the first bag I bought, and I just have a lot of memories with this bag. My next oldest bags from Louis Vuitton that I still have today are a 2-for-1 special because I bought both of these bags in the summer of 2020. I very distinctly remember it was that summer because we were all in lockdown. So I purchased both of these bags remotely. I'm talking about the Alma PM in Damier Ebene canvas and my Speedy 30 also in Damier Ebene canvas. I couldn't decide between these two bags, and since we were all in lockdown, I wasn't paying daycare fees for my daughter. She was home with us. My husband and I were both working from home. We weren't going out and doing anything. So I had a little bit of extra cash and decided to invest in both of these bags. I still have them today, almost 6 years later. I did actually try to sell my Speedy 30 at one point because I wasn't using it. So I decided to send it into a consignment service. And while the bag was up for consignment, my family took a trip to Washington, D.C. There just happened to be a nor'easter going through the weekend we were there. So it was raining the whole weekend. And when I was there, I kept thinking, this bag would have been perfect. I wish I had my Speedy 30 because I don't have to worry about this bag getting wet. The canvas is water resistant. It has a treated leather that's fine if you get some rain on it. And it's a large bag that I could have fit everything I needed in when we were out for the day. So as soon as we got back from Washington, D.C., I reached out to the seller that I had consigned my bag with. I asked them to take down the listing and send me back my bag. So I had a really close call with this one, but I do still have it today. And this is one that I will definitely continue to keep because it has really, really grown on me over the years. And I love the Speedy 30 size, especially now that I have 2 kids and I have 2 people constantly handing me things to hold on to for them. So I love my Speedy 30 now, and I definitely would not sell this again. The other bag is the Alma PM. I used to use this bag a lot when I first bought it, and I haven't used it as much lately because since I bought this bag, I also got an Alma BB, which is the next smaller size, and I tend to prefer the BB size over the PM. But I'm hanging on to this because it is such a classic. I do still use it on occasion, and if I did sell this, I would take such a huge loss on it. So for me, it's not worth selling it at this point. I'm definitely still hanging on to it for a while. Moving on to the final 2 bags from Louis Vuitton. They are also my smallest 2 bags. We have the Pochette Accessoire. If I'm not mistaken, I purchased this bag in 2021. If that's not correct, I will put the correct year on screen. This bag used to retail for $630. Then Louis Vuitton had a price increase and the price jumped from $630 to $790. I knew at the time it was way overpriced, but I also knew I wanted it and I wanted to get it before it hit $1,000. So I bought this bag, and then the next price increase after I bought it, it did hit over $1,000 for this bag. And currently it retails, I believe, for $1,500 or $1,600 US dollars. They have made changes to the bag. They did insert, I believe, some card slots in the back of the bag, and they added on a chain to this bag as well, in addition to the leather shoulder strap. So I have had this bag for a very, very long time. And even when I'm not using this as a bag itself, it is also really functional as a pouch inside my larger bags. Like if I'm using a tote bag, I can throw this in my bag and use it as an organizer. So I really love the Pochette Accessoire. And again, this is another one that I may pass down to my daughter eventually one day when she's old enough. The final Louis Vuitton bag I've had for the longest is my Felicie Pochette. And you may have noticed a common theme among all the bags I've had the longest. These are all the classics: the Alma, the Speedy, Pochette Accessoire, Never Full, this Felicie. I have sold my fair share of Louis Vuitton bags over the years, but the classics were the first bags I bought, and the classics are the ones that have time and time again survived every single closet declutter. So that's a little food for thought if you were thinking of what bags to buy. The classics, in my experience, have definitely been the way to go. So this is the Felicie Pochette. Again, I believe I purchased this in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And I do have the 2 inserts that come with this bag as well. This color, interestingly enough, was actually re-released last year in 2025 by Louis Vuitton. This is the Scarlet color. It was discontinued for some amount of years, and then last year Louis Vuitton brought it back again. This is a wallet on chain, and I will admit I don't use it very often these days, but I do think it's very handy to have a wallet on chain in your collection. This is a bag that has survived every single closet declutter. I would love to know what bag you've had for the longest and why you've kept it for so many years. I think that would be really interesting to have a conversation about all of our old bags that we still love. Drop those in the comments section. I will leave another video up here for you to watch next, and I'll see you in the next one.